Coming up on Extreme Huntress. It has been an action-packed week for these 4 Huntresses, but the judges still need to take a look at each individual contestant. The addition of their scores will determine the final score for each contestant. After that, it's up to you. In this episode, they'll take a closer look at Jamie and Tatiana. Who's got what it takes to be the next Extreme Huntress? Stay tuned and find out. 4 women, 1 goal. Extreme Huntress. Extreme Huntress is brought to you by Burris Optics, Find What Matters, Coppersmith Global Logistics, serving hunters worldwide, and Sam Hunter Training by FTW. Additional support provided by these fine sponsors. This year, the judges wanted to sit down together with each of the Huntresses individually. Up first, Jamie.
As an ambassador of hunters, there are so many things that we have to be ready for, whether it's an anti-hunter attack, whether it's a reporter wanting to talk to you, or an opportunity to speak to children. And Larry and I were talking the other day about the things that are asked of us frequently, and one of the most challenging of the questions is, why do you hunt?
I've been asked that question multiple times as well. Being a teacher, not very many people in my profession understand what hunting means to me and what hunting is. So I was born and raised in hunting. That's all I've ever known, that's all I ever did. Turkey season in the spring, shed hunting, duck hunting, everything, anything I can do all the time. And the reason for that is because I just want to be outside in God's country and understand the lay of the land, understand why animals do what they do. And people have been doing this since the beginning of time. Why should we be the generation that lets it stop? I was called some very nasty things on Instagram, on the airplane flying here. And you just gotta let it go, because these people don't understand while they're eating a McDonald's burger. And I guarantee you that my meat's gonna be a lot healthier. In a nutshell, that is why I hunt.
You started off a little bit slow at the FTW.
Sure did.
Why was that? And how did you correct that?
So I honestly don't know. I've been moving, I've been doing all these things in my personal life where I haven't been working out, I haven't been going to the gym. And I just wasn't in as best a shape as I was last year. And I wasn't as good a shape as Meadow. Meadow was running every day. I saw it, she posted on Facebook, I saw it. And I'm sitting there nannying a 9-year-old in Portland. I started off slow, I got in my head a little bit, but I knew from personal experience last year, as I was running, honestly, I would have pushed myself harder, but as I was running, I sat back and said, Melanie lost the biathlon last year. I won, and I didn't win Extreme Huntress last year. So then, once we were done with the observation challenge, which I didn't understand at the time because I was looking for photos. I knew there was clearly not animals in that vicinity, so I was looking for photos of animals. So when one of you yelled 15 minutes left, I saw the first elephant, and as soon as I knew, I was like, there's an elephant, there's a leopard, there's a snake, and it was time and I couldn't write it down. So then I kind of just, I don't know, I was kind of in a funk, and then I went back and wrote in my journal and just literally wrote down, it's gonna be okay, breathe. It worked. I just needed to get out of my head and realize why I was here, and I wasn't gonna start on a bad note and end on a bad note.
And you finished way ahead of everybody else on the final challenge, which to me was kind of a culmination of all the things that you should have learned, plus what you already knew coming into this. But what do you think you did on that last challenge that made you a winner in terms of the more shots hit than the other girls did? What do you think, what was the cause for that? Or what was the reason for it?
So the first day when we were having all the training of how to shoot the angles, I was panicking because I didn't understand what the yardage and percentage and how to calculate the drop. And on the very last challenge, on the very last girl that shot, I heard him say what the yard was. I looked at where she was shooting with my rangefinder, and it was already corrected for the yardage. So the next day I knew that and said, hey, you say it's 300 yards, I'm aiming right on at 300 yards. There's no need to adjust your elevation. So I don't know if that was an advantage or if I just had the confidence, because honestly, I feel like last year I didn't last year I didn't have the mindset to show you guys that I'm actually capable. So that's why I'm here again, to be like, listen, that wasn't me. Our Burris Veracity Scope gave me a lot of confidence.
It tracked so beautifully, whether it was 700 yards back to 250 yards.
The glass was amazingly clear.
It worked very well.
Absolutely awesome.
Out hunting is for real, so you have to trust in your gear, and I really think I can trust in Burris.
To learn more about Extreme Huntress hunting and shooting workshops and to vote for your favorite Extreme Huntress, go to extremehuntress.com.
I've liked seeing you interact with all of the gals, even in the frustrating moments, which I know when they are. We recognize those things as judges. You're still, with a smile on your face, handling the situation. You're willing to teach and you're willing to help in situations, and I appreciate that a lot.
Like, these girls traveled way too far. We've all put way too much work to get onto the competition. Why not help each other? So,
it is a competition, though.
It is a competition.
And even in spite of that, you still were able to show your skills, even if you did help, even if you did encourage, even if you were there to give them high fives.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all secretive and, I'm not going to share all my knowledge because I want you to fail.
Yeah.
But that's just your character.
This shows
and I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
The question is, this morning you and Eureka and I were hunting together, and you had an animal out in front of you, a doe, and you decided to let Eureka shoot the animal. Why'd you do that?
So I decided to let Eureka shoot that doe this morning because last night she shot her buck, and that was I was the lead hunter, and I knew that if a doe walked out, I'm not gonna be able in my heart to sleep tonight if I just sat there and watched three does that she could shoot and her behind me, and knowing that I could have her shoot that and be tagged out. Yes, it's a competition, but why would you do that to somebody? and for me, yesterday I shot my doe on someone else's hunt, so I understand what it was like.
I've watched this young lady hunt several times now, and from as far as I'm concerned, she's done an excellent job all the way through. I mean, there's nothing in watching her hunt. They're here at the moment. I can't think of anything that I would have done drastically different than what she has.
After initial competition scoring, Jamie sits at 877.5 points, but with the addition of judges scoring, her final score is 912.5 points. Now it's up to the viewing public. The next huntress that judges Larry and Olivia will take a closer look at is Tatiana.
We have a question for you.
Yeah.
As an ambassador, as Extreme Huntress, you're going to have many different things that happen, whether it's anti-hunters that want to attack you or opportunities to talk to children. We want to know, why do you hunt?
I was like growing up in a hunting environment, and I think it's a part of me, but it's kind of like a passion for hunting, and I love the nature. I'm like a huge outdoor enthusiast. I like the animals, and I think it's also a need to provide a good and healthy food and meat to me, to my family, and to everybody else I know and I love. I think I don't want to support this mass meat industry. And also, like, it's not only about the hunting, it's about the memories and the new friendships we have. So I think this is, like, all this stuff together makes the thing why we want to hunt.
Why do you think other people should hunt beyond you?
Well, if they like to eat meat, I think it's the best way to get it. If you go hunting, you go alone or somebody, so you can have memories, and you are always challenging yourself. You always need to learn something new, so you need to always be like pushing yourself or maybe to your limits and to learn new stuff.
Our Burris Veracity Scope gave me a lot of confidence.
It tracked so beautifully, whether it was 700 yards back to 250 yards.
The glass was amazingly clear.
It worked very well.
Absolutely awesome.
Out hunting is for real, so you have to trust in your gear, and I really think I can trust in Burris.
Check out the latest line of Extreme Huntress apparel and products, from mugs and sweatshirts to custom knives. Find it at extremehuntress.com. To learn more about Extreme Huntress hunting and shooting workshops and to vote for your favorite Extreme Huntress, go to extremehuntress.com.
one of the things that I noticed that you were at the FTW, you were very consistent in your shooting. You won a couple of events, but you were always very much in the running of those. You were always number 2 or number 3 or number 1, and I commend you for doing that. If you had the chance now to go back, what would you do to increase those scores?
Maybe not to think too much about centimeters and meters, and just to think in yards and inches, because I was always trying to calculate it. I think it was not a very good decision. I'm used on it like my whole life, and now it's changed. So next time I will just probably like switch my head, and I will start thinking in inches and yards, and there are no centimeters, no meters, nothing. Okay.
Just look at the number.
No
right?
moy, no nothing.
You shoot extremely well. I mean, you're an absolutely great shot. You did very well across the board on the shooting events.
Yeah, look at all the dangerous game going down the trail or having the elephants charging you.
I love moving game, and just when you're, I love the stuff like when you're walking through the woods and then some target will show up and you need to shoot like pretty fast. I like that kind of stuff.
Why did you decide to set up in a blind as opposed to sitting up on somewhere underneath the trees or something like that?
I think that I've decided because first morning we were hunting, and I was kind of more like exploring like how it works here in the nature and the animals and the behavior and everything, and I think I did a few mistakes, and I've learned from them, and especially with these black bucks, that they are really like spooky and they are not standing all the time, so they are moving. Like it was the first time I saw the black buck how he is behaving in real.
Right.
So I think this was the main reason why I chose to stay in the blind.
Well, I got to hunt with Tatiana on the first morning, the first day, and none of us had seen this place.
Right.
And so it was exploratory for both of us.
Yeah, and these few minutes with this black buckwood was really like exciting, and I was really surprised that it ran towards us and was so close.
There were some times when you exposed yourself with the sun.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
And I'm pretty much pale, so everybody can see
not
me.
Enough, but
but I'm just like same color like the sand. So
yeah, that's what it is.
I need to go hunting naked,
I think everybody got the wind in their head, and I'm like, look, it's gonna swirl. Forget it. Doesn't exist. Just pretend. It was really hard with the wind.
Yeah. I'm used that at my place, like we have a big mountains and this, but usually the wind is going the one direction all the time.
Yeah,
and
I know that
every day.
frustrated you a lot.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, what the hell I'm going to do now? Like, I need to crawl, or I need to lay down, or I need to dig, or I don't know what.
When that doe was trying to get outside of the harem of that black buck ram, they came charging towards us. We didn't have a choice. There was no way you could have even shouldered a rifle because it was that quick, that close. But what happened is he stopped behind a bush, and we all needed to have stayed absolutely frozen. But there was a doe right there, and I did notice that you made a quick movement, and that made them just bolt out. And it's understanding this species too. This species, if they had seen us and I was alone, I would have gone so far as to just close my eyes, so there wouldn't even be the blink in my eye, because the black buck, forget about it. They see you from forever away. And then yesterday, when Ulrika shot her black buck ram, what do? You always want to like mark the spot where it dropped, and then you start to look for blood. And Tatiana was the one to first find the blood, and she could follow this trail so well. Now she trains dogs to follow blood, so it's like instinct took over with her, and she was really able to follow that well. So it's been a pleasure to hunt with you. I wish we had more hunts.
Yeah, we can stay one more week.
I know, I know, it would be great.
Now I really want to know how you felt about driving the trucks is what that's the part I really want to know about. What's the fascination with the big trucks?
I don't know. I always like big cars, and big trucks when I can put the hay on them and pull horses and I don't know everything. And we don't have this kind of trucks in Europe or in Slovakia. They are very rare. when I came here, first thing I was looking for is a truck. Like then I've got to drive 2 trucks. so yeah, the first one was really nice, and the second one it was I hope I can do some drive today also.
After initial competition scoring, Tatiana sits at 1,010 points, but after the addition of the judges' scores, she's in the lead at 1,075 points. On the next Extreme Huntress, Jamie and Tatiana are in the books, but the judges still have 2 more contestants to take a closer look at. Next time on Extreme Huntress, they'll take a closer look at Meadow and Ulrika. Who's got what it takes to be the next Extreme Huntress? Go to extremehuntress.com today and vote for your favorite.